check. Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, well, I can definitely hear me. Okay. Hello, can you guys hear me? Okay, let me get the light in the background. Hello, can you guys hear me? Ooh. Okay. Let me get the light in the background on. What the hell? Check. Oh my god. Oh my god, bruh. Bro, it's because this thing was so flimsy. Oh my god, someone called his number. It's so funny you say that. Someone actually did text me. Someone did actually text me. Oh, good lord. Still yapping, ha ha ha. Now we hear you, bro. What? Anyway, like I was saying before I rudely interrupted myself, today we revealed the White Devil playmat. If you are a fan of Gundam or mechs, you will understand the reference and just the tease. Here is the upcoming Dandadan playmat. Cannot wait for that. So, the Dandadan and the Chainsaw Man playmat, again, it's only exclusive to the people who are watching the stream. So if you guys want to pick up one of those, type in Fumiko for 48% discount off of the price here off the website. I appreciate to the person who texted me. Thank you so much. So, oh, speaking of that, we do actually have a gracious person in the stream who has provided me with playmats that I should be receiving for you guys. So I guess I'll have to see what the designs are. But if you guys want to be raffled for that, maybe we can do some Chainsaw Man trivia. Maybe, you know, we can do a poll or something like that. We can definitely raffle off some playmats for you guys in the community. Taishim says, so did you read my message of my drawing? Yeah, Taishim, I like your drawing the first day you posted it, my friend. Go back and see that I did like it when you posted that drawing. So, need that Dandadan playmat. I just read the chapter, My Eyes. Yeah, the Dandadan Fire. International duties for those costs more than the mat, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, it sucks, man. Don't worry. One day, Nen Garden is going to be so expansive, I'm going to have locations worldwide. You can call me Mr. 305 because Mr. Pitbull is Mr. International. What's the thing that Pitbull calls himself? He says something with international. Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, right? Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like he said something with internationals specifically. Anyway, that's not important. So, I see D here. D, how you doing? We got Glacial, we got Bravery, Happy Kaiju. Let me go ahead and read some of the comments from the video that we just posted. I'm just going to read this one right off rip. Think about it, Miles. She has feelings for Denji. It is stated by Nayata. I don't know how to spell her name, sorry. That devils don't have feelings for humans. They want them to die. So think about it. She is getting Asa's feelings. Yoru and Asa are becoming one person. My theory on Asa last week was right. We're going to get a whole arc on her. What do you think? I mean, a dedicated arc on Asa? I don't know. I mean, I feel like we have already gotten so much dedicated screen time with her to get a specific arc, right? Like, maybe we'll get a lot of focal points and, you know, like, we'll probably get a focal point on her in this upcoming arc for sure, between what's happening currently with Yoru and Asa and how Denji's now being subservient to his sexual desires and unfortunately being another lapdog again, right? So yeah, I don't think we'll have like a dedicated arc. I don't know what someone called it last week. Someone's like, no, we're gonna get the 4 Horsemen arc, and to me, I like that because we can dive more into Yoru, and then as a caveat with Asa, and then learn more about Fami, and then the Death Devil, and then whoever the new reborn again Control Devil is, assuming Naita is truly gone, then, you know, that makes more sense to me, right? So, excellent comment. Yes, that is the question Fujimoto has presented from Naita way back when, right? Devils don't have feelings, they just do what they do, right? But then you have some devils who are kind-hearted, but then when I think about it like that, I immediately think about the Violence Fiend, but then the Violence Fiend suppresses himself, and, you know, the brain that he took over was someone who's kind and gentle-hearted. So I wonder who was like a pure devil in this universe who just had nothing but good intentions. I guess you can talk about Bucky, right? What's like the official name of Bucky? Bucky was what, like just the Duck Devil? Bucky Chainsaw Man Part 2. What is he? I mean, oh, Bucky's the Chicken Devil. Duh. Wow. So I don't know. Well, see, that's where your problem, or that's what you're suggesting, is maybe a little bit out. Right? Because we got someone like Bucky who just like, okay, he's the fear of chickens, but like Bucky wasn't trying to cause like destruction, right? Like he just genuinely loved humans with his puns. So funny how Bucky is still such a beloved character in the fandom, and he was only around for like one main chapter, of course, and then sprinkled in early on in Chainsaw Man Part 2 to be forgotten. I do hope we see more of Bucky, because we have to keep in mind that, you know, Asa did say she's having this reoccurring dreams with these like dead chickens in the alleyway, right? So I think we may see Bucky again. I would love to see Bucky again. Let me see what the. Let me go ahead and pull that up. So, what we got? Yoru Makima have parallels but are not the same. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's why they're parallels, right? Like they're not like a 1-for-1 match. Do you think Reze will show up in Part 2? You know, we've talked about this so many times. You know, I'm now starting to doubt it. I would like to see her in it, and I would still mark Part 2 a little off if she isn't included. Again, not for, oh, I just, you know, she's like my favorite, and, you know, I want to see her, blah, blah, blah. No. It just more so, how do we see the 6 out of the 7 weapons devils, and then you omit the most popular one? Right? Like, again, we don't have to see her. Just give me a reference. Like, oh, she's in the Soviet Union chilling. Or, oh, she blew up a long, long time ago. Or, check this out. I didn't talk about it in the review, but what if she's actually one of the high-ranking official people who greets death? So, talk about a blast to the past, right? No pun intended, right? So now we have the Fire Devil meeting death. Now we have Power, or the new Blood Devil, meeting death, and we have the Bomb Devil meeting death. Like, it doesn't seem too out of whack for you to tell me a high-ranking character, which is a weapon/hybrid, is greeting death, right? So, let me see. Plot twist: Bucky was the Death Devil all along. Man, you know, Bison, I know you say that for like jokes and jest. What if he is? What if that would be like a crazy reveal no one would see coming? And then Bison can say, guys, I knew it all along. So, Monaz says 1% chance, 99% faith she's going to return trust. Okay, so if Asa hits Denji before Yoru does and claims him as her boyfriend, do you think Yoru can turn him into a weapon? If Asa hits Denji before Yoru does and claims him as her boyfriend, do you think Yoru can... I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, because they share the same body, right? But what if, because now we got the reveal, or Denji learns, right? It was Asa who has a crush on him. And hopefully, how long are we? We're about 12 minutes in, right? So, Shueisha, please don't take down my video. That because Denji now officially learns that Asa is the one that likes Denji, that, yeah, there's nothing Yoru can do about it. And that Denji is only a weapon for Asa. And for whatever reason, if she tries to, like, regain her body, like, you know, Bruce Banner Hulk style. There's something that just doesn't allow it to happen, right? So, but I do like that, though. I do like that. Let me see. My theory is that the Nostradamus prophecy becomes self-fulfilling and Yoru becomes the reason why the world is going to end. Yeah, some people talked about that. I think Sufferance talked about that. Maybe I give too much credit to Sufferance from time to time. Sufferance is a amazing creator. But yeah, this has been something that has been talked about before, right? So I'm glad that you bring it up, right? Like, what if the Nostradamus prophecy is brought about because of like Yoru and Denji and Chainsaw Man going through this entire crazy thing, right? That leads up to this, you know, summoning of the Death Devil and the Nostradamus prophecy. So, hold on. Let me go ahead and fix my hue light real quickly. It got dark real fast. There we go. We got it bright. Let me see. Story-wise, Denji ends up alone or with Asa. Too much time has passed since Reze. Yeah, look, here's the thing. Even if Reze comes back, I don't think Reze is going to be with Denji. That's just my fanfic and my cope talking, okay? There's no... Well, I don't want to say there's no shot, but I don't think Fujimoto has introduced Asa and all this stuff we got with Asa only for her to, like, die tragically, and then, you know, Reze's the one who ends up being with Denji and happily ever after, right? I think that would just piss off a lot of people. Even if some people are happy about it, I think it's like, what was the point of Asa's character, right? So, let me see. So now I have to wait until I get back to the West to read Chainsaw Man. Is telling Denji he'll turn into a weapon if he fails that impacting if he doesn't know what that means? No, I think Denji knows the implications of what it means to potentially be turned into a weapon. Someone says here, yeah, because if it's about her possessions, technically he wouldn't be Yoru's boyfriend, and she could be stripped of all power over him. Asa still definitely would, though. Yeah. So, all right. So let's go ahead and take this from the top. You know, feel free as someone to timestamp it. Someone's we are at 1440, and you know, I hope I didn't come across mean. Someone in the live stream commented like, you know, you're a little harsh or something like that. Oh God, let me go ahead and pull it up. Let me go ahead and pull it up so we can all analyze it together, you know. Let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh God. Okay, where is it? Okay, love your videos, but the ranting is getting out of hand, a little bit toxic. I'm like, okay, just don't watch. It's like, my guy, I don't even know what I said in the last rant to be mean, but it's like, guys, we rant for like 20 minutes. This must be Evil Panda first time watching the stream, because we always rant for about like 15 to 20 minutes before we actually start the stream. So, yeah, I don't know, a little toxic. It's like, my guy, you're watching a Chainsaw Man stream. And, you know, I'd like to say this to each and every one of you. I love your support. Thank you for, you know, building this community with me. And thank you that we get to talk about Chainsaw Man and shoot the shit. But we're also talking about Chainsaw Man. It's like, you know what you're getting yourself into. And if, you know, I will say this in defense of this guy, what's his name? Evil Panda. Maybe he's never heard of me before, and this was my first impression, right? Like, and now he's just like, ooh, man, I don't know about that DJ Miles guy. And to that, it's like, oof, I'm sorry, I apologize. You know, that's whatever. But, you know, for the people who have been here for the longest time, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into, right? And even to the people who love talking shit, it's like, guys, you know, sometimes I have no problem clapping back because we're talking about Japanese cartoons at the end of the day. I know people get so upset about that. It's a manga, it's animation, and blah 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 blah. It's like see what I'm saying? It's like, guys, let me take the ego out for each and every one of you. We're talking about Japanese cartoons. We're talking about a fictional Japanese manga. Who cares what the fuck I think? I'm just a random guy on the internet passionately talking about some damn manga. So, with that, let's go ahead and kick things off with the beginning of chapter 193, titled Burning Kiss. As, you know, we see here, Yoru is, well, she's rubbing her peach against Denji. You know, the paneling here, I didn't talk about this in the review, but, you know, when you just clearly see the paneling, it's just like her head, you know, you see the motion of the outline, right? It's kind of like, to me, it's like, oh, I'm just backing that thing up. I am just backing that thing up. And I'm just like, oh my god, if I'm Denji, this is just probably like, I'm sure he's enjoying it, but I do hate when we put the jokes aside. You know, he's like, okay, you can tell he likes it, but he's uncomfortable. It's like, what's going on, man? And you know, at this point in the story, Denji just so, like, he's been through so much shit. I know we say that a lot too. I know we always say that, like, Denji has been through a lot. It's like, and someone said, man, this guy is almost having it as bad as Guts. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I still think what Guts goes through in Berserk is just leagues ahead of Denji. But when we take the conventional shonen protagonists of, like, the Luffys and, you know, the I don't know, the Narutos, right? Like, yeah, Denji has it pretty bad. Denji has it pretty bad, right? But yeah, it just like, yeah, there's some weird, like, oh, this feels good, but like, he's being taken advantage of, you know? It's a little off-putting to watch, right? So then, here we go. We see Yoro end up saying, oh, hold on. Why is this going too fast? Let me pause right here. So then we see Yoro saying, even though I'm going to turn you into a weapon, you're like putty in my hands because I'm the only one who's nice to you. And I hate this because, you know, this is, you know, these trademarks, and we see it sprinkled throughout this chapter that she's manipulating him, right? Like, these are like the footprints of, you know, couples who manipulate and use other people, right? You know, whether it's because they feel like they can fill this void for someone else, and, you know, but in the worst way of like, oh yeah, like, you're not shit without me because I'm the only person who cares about you. You know, this is like abusive relationship status, right? Like, oh yeah, like, you're attractive and you care about me, but you also insult me and you also say you're going to turn me into a weapon and I'm the only one who's nice to you, right? It's just like reinforcing these ideas of someone who doesn't have, you know, Denji hasn't had a fully developed brain with these life experiences, right? Of having what a healthy relationship should be, or, you know, developing just actual paternal and, you know, just love. So when you see it from Makima, who's like, oh, Makima's providing the maternal love, but also his sexual desires because they're not related, right? It's kind of like, it's very hard to skew the two for someone like Denji. Not to say he's about that shit, you know, that hillbilly stuff, but he doesn't have a lot of life experiences with all these things, you know? So we're just seeing more and more of Yoru just manipulating Denji, you know, and that sucks. And again, here's a hallmark of a abusive trait, this line: I want you to be even more pitiful, which makes me feel sorry for you, so part of me wants to cheer you up, you know. Let's go to the next line. Okay. Oh, did it go black? Okay. So I promise I will read the comments after we finish this part here, page 5 and 6 of the chapter. So then Yoru ends up so Denji ends up telling Yoru, can you wiggle some more? And she says, no, why not? Because it makes you feel, oh, because you're more pitiful if I refuse. Do you hate me or something? No. And then we get the big mic drop that Asa likes him. And since they share a brain together, then she likes him too. So before we get into that, now let me go ahead and read the comments. Taishim says, Evil Panda, what a boring name. We just want raw and uncut. Okay. Appreciate that. MK Hobbies and Taishim. That's the entire point of a stream. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. A lot of you guys are talking about the Evil Panda thing, right? It just like, look, Evil Panda, if you're watching, like, you know, I hope you know, do well. You know, I hope you have a, you know, a good life. You know, if I'm not the type of personality content creator that meshes with wow, I can't talk. That, you know, you don't vibe with, that's okay. It's fine. And I know maybe you meant well too, but also it's like, you know, I'm not gonna go to like I don't know, what's his name? Like, I'm not gonna go to Pokemon and be like, hey Pokemon, can you talk about this one thing? I don't really like how you like talk about Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl, right? Like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm done. Over it. Don't care. Let me see. Jacob, I need to hear what Asa is the timing. Should have been him. We're not even together. Japanese. Definitely cartoons, I think. To Asa. Okay. I'm going to read what Robin says. Robin says, I think that Asa likes him was the most important part to him. Denji really said, that's crazy, but can you move faster? I'm almost done. Then he wanted some genuine affection before making love. Yeah. This is why Denji was crying. Robin, you are spot on, right? Why is he crying? Because someone likes him. And, maybe this is now actually going to work against Yoru, right? That, hey, you just told me you don't really care for me. I mean, you care for me because you share Asa's brain, but you just confirmed for me that it's Asa who has feelings for me, not you, and you're manipulating me. This was said in Sufferin's video last week, and I heard some people talk about it in the live stream, so, congratulations to the guys who had it. I like how some people said, what if Denji is playing like the Aizen level game here, right? We're talking about Bleach for a second. Aizen, which is so smart, always thinking 4 steps ahead. He's playing 4D chess. What if Denji is acting so much of a beta male where he's gonna get on his knees and get down bad, right? Because, he wants to have some intercourse with this person. And then he just playing that front to be a dope so he can, when the time is right, seize the opportunity to take down Yoru and rescue Asa from Yoru's grasp. Yeah, I like that. But even if that is a possibility, and I'm going to be the first to say, I hope what we see here and what we saw last week, I hope that's where Fujimoto is going to set it up. But if it doesn't go there, Denji is down bad. He knows that Asa likes him. And because Denji knows, unfortunately, that Asa and Yoru are one and the same, right? What's the solution to this? This is kind of like the aging devil dilemma, right? How are we going to get back to this other dimension if I can't use my powers? How am I going to have a relationship with this person if I also have this other split personality that is Yoru packaged in it, right? It's okay, if I want to have Asa in my life, I unfortunately have to accept the package, the full package, right? Hey, you're dating this significant other and they have 5 pets. It's well, I really like this person, but they have 5 pets. It's I guess I gotta embrace it, right? We don't know the solution on how Denji is gonna have a healthy relationship with Asa when Yoru is still sharing the host, right? The body. So you feel bad for Denji because he's crying. He's crying, he feels bad, and he's someone likes me because Nayata's gone, Power's gone, Aki's gone, right? And I didn't talk about this in the review. I really wish I talked about this. This unhealthy, toxic trait again of an abusive partner, right? Yoru ends up telling Denji that, when you're more pitiful, I like that because it, makes me feel bad for you. And then I want to love you, right? What a very toxic, love, right? It's one of those toxic love tornadoes that you kind of hear, right? Where when Denji's crying, what's the thing Yoru says? Before Yoru ends up kissing him, right? It's not oh my God, you're crying. Here, come here, let me kiss you. She just says, if you're going to cry, let me watch. But look at the anger and look at the tone. I don't know how you guys interpreted this, but when I looked at this and Denji was crying, she grabs his hand like an abusive partner and says, hey, if you're going to cry, I want to see it. It's bro. Holy cow, that is just, it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. So, of course, we end up finding out Denji, he's crying because he now knows that someone likes him. And then, that's when Yoru now, right? This wasn't her first reaction. This was her second. Hey, if you're going to cry, show it to me. Now the second instinct kicks in, right? Oh, you poor thing. Now let me go ahead and make out with you. Let me see. So they kiss, and then it gets very sensual here. Fujimoto has no problem showing this off, man. And when it's his story and they show oh man, we see Yoru giving him some tongue action, biting that bottom lip, for the fellows watching, the girls I've kissed before, they like that. So, let me just give you guys some advice, right? You kiss a girl, and when you're done kissing, just go for that nibble in the bottom, in the bottom lip, like Yoru's doing to Denji. Wow. You know, she's done kissing him. And then this is where Yoru ends up proposing. So are you dead set on having, you know, making love with me? Denji's like, yeah. I mean, in this situation, it's like, oh man, kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? And that leads perfectly into defeat the Death Devil and I will make love with you. But if you fail, I'll turn you into a weapon and beat her myself. Now, this is very, man, when I finished reading this chapter, I felt uncomfortable because, you know, we see these parallels, right? Obviously between Makima and Yoru. Yes, they're horsemen of the apocalypse. Yes, they are manipulating Denji, right? And just like any abusive relationship, you tell the partner, hey, do this thing for me and I will promise you XYZ. And what happens to the person who's in the abusee situation, right? They will do the deed. They will, I don't know, clean the room. You know, I'll massage your feet for 2 weeks. I'll, I don't know, I'll buy all the groceries and pay all the bills. And then what ends up happening? Like, hey, now you promised me these things, right? And then the abuser will say, nah, it wasn't up to my standard. Or, oh, you kind of faltered here. So you almost did a good job, but you failed to miss the mark just a bit, right? They'll leave enough carrot to dangle in front of you, just enough to say, sorry, you failed. So now you have to listen to me again. And again, it's just this repeated cycle. It's hard to watch this because, I don't know, I think about too many toxic relationships. Like, you know, many of you guys have seen toxic relationships. Maybe some of you have been a part of toxic relationships. Maybe you have friends who are in toxic relationships. And, you know, I look at this chapter and it's just like, it's very eerie and disturbing to me because these are like hallmarks and traits of like, one, something I definitely do not want in a partner. So people, please look at what Yoru's doing and please understand from Denji's perspective, this is not healthy whatsoever. And I think hopefully Fujimoto is making this, you know, message pointed to you guys. Like, yeah, what we're seeing is like shitty for Denji, but maybe he's also telling you guys like, guys, do not fall for this shit in IRL, okay? And yeah, this is, oh, but going back to, you know, promising you do this for me and you'll get XYZ, like, who said this? Makima. If you defeat the Gun Devil, I will grant any desire that you want. I will grant you one wish, right? And now here we are having it again. Now, is Denji playing the Aizen 4D chess, right? Like, okay, yeah, like, there is some of Denji a part of this, right? Like, Denji is, like, shocked, and he's like, oh my god, I can finally have intercourse like I wanted this entire time. And he just being roped in, almost being caught, but then pulling what you know, he did at the end of part 1 with Makima and ultimately defeating her. Or is Denji truly down bad and he just in this cycle and it's going to be Asa that's going to get him out because Asa is somehow going to interject and interfere? We will have to wait and see. So I don't want to show the panel for too long because I'm scared of you know, Shueisha taking down my shit. So let's just show my, you know, merch store for a second. Let me go ahead and read the comments. Yoru's probably going to lose so hard in the most pathetic way possible because Denji now has more ammunition than ever before. Yes, I love this. I love this. This is so great. Yes, I hope this is what ends up happening, right? That like Yoru, you know, being on top of the world, being on cloud 9 right now, right? Similar to Makima where it's almost untouchable. It's like, dude, how are we going to defeat Makima? And then out of nowhere, she gets, you know, the rug pulled underneath her, and then she just goes out in the most gruesome of ways, right? So that's certainly what I'm hoping for. Let me see. Dev says, if you can't tell the difference between Makima and Yoru, do you even understand the story? Well said. Asa probably likes eggs, saliva, sweat, and mixed together. Disgusting. I would never. Let me see here. The true king of waffles? Is that what that says? Maybe Pochita will break the cycle, just take control and go, nope. Sketch says, I was told today that my ex was talking crap about me. So, honestly, Sketch, you don't even need to know what your ex is doing right now. I broke up. I think TMI with you guys. You guys know I broke up with my... Oh, well, maybe you guys don't know. I broke up with my last girlfriend back in the summer. You get over that post, breakup, right? Like, oh, are we going to get back together? Are we not? And then, there's a point. There should be a point for everyone. You get out of the relationship and you're like, yeah, that's not going to work. But, Sketch, I will say this. This is probably one of the best pieces of advice I heard getting over a breakup. And that is, remember next year. Where will you be at next year? And I can almost guarantee you, you will not be thinking about them. And if you are thinking about them, it is from a different reframing and stepping outside of what you currently looked at that relationship as for the longest time and realize, oh yeah, it didn't work out because I was like this, or it didn't work out because this partner was like this, right? So I will say, just remember next year, and I promise you, this is not going to be a problem, and if they continue to persist, it really is as simple as cutting them off. And I know I make it sound very easy, but just cut them off, right? Anyway, back to Chainsaw Man, right? Robin says here, this here with Denji's face and Yoru's face when she says this. I think Denji is getting a shocked flashback about Makima and is getting the realization, knowing how last time ended up. Wow, I really like that. What if this is the thing where Denji says, holy crap, right? Like maybe Denji didn't know that he was being manipulated. Because, we all know Denji's a little slow, right? That he doesn't know he's being taken advantage of or manipulated truly like Makima. And then he looked at it like this, right? Like he's shocked of like what obviously Yoru's proposing, but also taking in like, whoa. I think I heard this shit before. Excellent comment. I like that. Tracy says the Aizen Denji theory throws Dennis' whole character out the window. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the only reason I'm going to push back and say I think it can work is because we've seen him go through that entire crap with Makima. So if we're having it set up here where he's almost falling for it, and we, the readers, are angry and frustrated at Denji because, oh no, Denji is regressing and he hasn't grown out, only for us to be played like Aizen. This is how I think it can work. This is, I think, the only scenario this can work, right? Like, yes, but it's not taking away the struggle and the trauma that has happened, right? Like, he lost Naita, he lost the dogs, his house was burned down, he's losing his friends, right? Like, he doesn't really have anyone. So I wonder if after this Aging Devil arc, I'm not going to call it truly the Aging Devil arc, but after that previous arc, he had that clarification, right? Like he had that wake up call. And then when Yoru was like, hey, like, do this thing, and I'll make out with you, or, I'll give you another Shinji hands thing, then this is what can happen, right? And we are angry, right? I was angry about it. But like, what if that's the moment where the Aizen plan begins, right? So, I don't know. We got Joseph Florian with a $10 donation. Thank you so much. Do you think Denji will finally get his reward to defeat the Death Devil? And then there's someone who commented. Robin says, maybe from Asa. Oh, okay, yeah, so I can't believe we didn't talk about this. Is Denji going to defeat the Death Devil by himself? I just don't see that happening, right? I mean, we can go ahead and start the poll. Will Dennis defeat Death solo? Yes or no? I think this is going to be one of those things like any shonen story, right? Whether it's the 5 Kage and everyone in the ninja village facing off against Madara, and we see everyone doing shit, but ultimately it came down to Naruto and Sasuke. But like Naruto, who ended up defeating Death, right? Or Madara. In the same way that we'll see like Imu and the 5 elders in One Piece be defeated by like the Straw Hats. But it's not just going to be Luffy. It's going to be like the whole crew. And it's also going to be the Grand Fleet, but Luffy's the one who's gonna punch the emu to the bell, and it's gonna ring in the new dawn, and that was the One Piece all along, right? Like, yeah, I think Denji will defeat death, but like, because of everyone else pitching in one way or another, there's been sacrifices here and there, right? Or maybe even a better, more grounded example is like the end of Demon Slayer. For people who have not watched Demon Slayer, please tune out for 5 seconds, okay? 1 Mississippi, and I'll talk about it for like 10 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Okay, if everyone is here, I'm assuming you don't care how I spoiled Demon Slayer, right? So it's like Denji, wow. It's like Tanjiro having the final word or the final cut on Muzan? Yeah, Muzan, Michael Jackson, right? But it's because all the other Hashira quite literally contributed, and then it was Tanjiro who had the final say. So will Denji finally get his reward? But yeah, but not to answer your question, is Denji going to get his reward? I feel like we've seen Denji go through so much shit, and I feel like Fujimoto has teased this stuff with Denji about like getting laid. I personally, right, this is just me being a dude, right, for the ladies here, I'm sorry, right, yeah, I just want to see Denji get laid at the end of the story. Can we just see Denji, you know, be reunited with like power, and somehow the ghost of Aki is like hanging out with them, and they like rebuild a house, and you know, for whatever reason Naita came back, and then you know, he's with like Asa holding his, you know, putting his arm around her, and it's like, all right guys, see you later, me and Asa, we're gonna have sex, right? That's what I'm kind of hoping for, right? Denji has went through so much shit. I can't see this story ending. I mean, I could totally see the story ending in Denji just dying. Denji could very well die, but you know, I feel like Fujimoto's put him through so much. It's like, what's more satisfying? Us seeing Denji get some glimmer of hope and just reward at the end of the story, or him to die tragically and Denji has just been a tragic character ever since he was born to his ultimate sacrifice to save the world, right? Like, what sounds more satisfying to you guys? So let me see. So thank you for that. What enemies does death really have? It's assumed it can't die. Yeah, I mean, we got to figure that out, right? I wonder, and that's why I wonder if Fujimoto has presented Aging's world, because it's like, well, we can't defeat death because we need death to be around, but let's just not have her use her powers or have her powers be disabled somehow. And what's the best way we can do that? We transport death into the world of Aging. That would be really cool. But, you know, we've never seen this either, right? Even Aging couldn't use its own powers in its own pocket dimension that it created. But what if death is truly that powerful that it's like, no, it has the power to overbreak that, right? So, did someone else give a donation here? Oh, Copium Theory by John. When death descends, Naito will be revealed to be alive, giving Dennis his will to live, and therefore a huge buff. Ooh, I really like that. You know, because we did see, excellent, thank you for the donation and excellent comment, because we did see before Naito went away, Naito did propose to Denji like, hey, why do we gotta listen to what humans do? We can just do what we do and run this shit on our own, right? We can have a lot of fun if we just run shit the way we do. I can have ice cream every day. You know, we don't have to listen to nobody. I don't have to go to school. And, you know, Denji, again, just being a good, role model is like, look, Naita, I know that sounds good in theory, but I'm telling you, you're going to want to have structure in your life, okay? And then, you know, Naita, like, reluctantly, it's like, okay, Denji knows best, so I'm gonna listen to him. But what a reveal if we do see Naita, like, you know, getting on her knees, bowing down, right? Everyone bowing down. We see like Fire Devil bowing down. We see Blood bowing down. You know, Naita bowing down, and then it's like, and then like the last person bowing down, you know, we see is like Naita. She turns to Denji and it's like, join the side, right? But then again, 4D chess move eyes and shit. Yeah, this is how Naita feels, and then she sees Denji and the relationship she has, and then ultimately gives into what Denji always taught her, and he gets a huge power buff and whatever, right? I don't know. I don't know. So we went down the cope theory with that, but yeah, I like that. Dino says that's what Fujimoto usually does. He keeps playing with us. I know, man. He keeps on tickling us in the worst spots. We'll see what happens, man. So I'll give you another Shinji hands. I know, bro. I know. Denji's a tool. Wait, I mean a weapon. Hell no if he beats it. Let me see. That means Pochita isn't the chainsaw devil. It'd have to be life, death, or something. If Pochita struggled with aging and a souped up Yoru, then Pochita's definitely getting washed. Yeah, we have to see how there has to be some other type of power up for Denji and Pochita. And if there isn't, then we have to have some ultimate team up because, well said. I don't even know how I neglected to bring that up, right? Like, we know Denji can't defeat death by himself. Denji basically lost to Yoru, even if you said there were some implications that, like, well, he didn't try or he didn't want to kill her, whatever. It's like, yeah, but, devils don't play fair in this universe. So if Asa got a victory over Chainsaw Man in the way that she did, a victory is still a victory, right? So, life, death as a concept can't be beaten by Chainsaw Man. It has to be something else. Even war to an extent inevitably leads to death. Same with famine. Ooh, did someone donate? Oh, Robin gifting 10 memberships. Thank you so much, Robin. Appreciate it. Look at all you guys getting all these emotes. Let me go ahead and add these emotes of Momo, Power, Pochita, Chainsaw Man, Okaroon, Turbo Granny, The Future Rules, Reze, Seiko, Yoru, Gojo. I love me some Gojo. Fami, Aki, and Asa. Welcome, guys. Robin says, yes, I robbed the rich devil. So, John says, given how Fujimoto keeps implying Nagisa is dead, I think he's going to rug pull after making everyone believe she is dead. Yeah, I said it in last week's chapter video that I think, she can certainly be gone. Or Fujimoto is saying, hey, don't get your hopes up. She's gone. But if she's alive, I embrace it. That's what I'm saying. I'm like 90% sure she could be gone. But if she was alive the whole time, we stated many times on the reasons why she should be alive and how it could be a disservice if she did truly die. But in the camp, that's the thing. Fujimoto is like, I don't know. And it could quite literally be one of those things kind of like JJK. Where Nobara, sorry guys, for people who don't want to know how JJK ended, right? How like Nobara was gone and then she literally appeared in the last 5 chapters. And we're like, oh, so she was always alive. Yep, that's a thing, Clifford said, can someone explain to me what exactly Famine's powers are? Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and look it up together. Let's look it up. She has the ability to starve people. And when she can starve people, she can control them. But that definition is very broad, so we don't know if that's obviously only implying like a physical hunger or is that like a mental hunger, an emotional hunger, right? Like all that stuff, right? Fami is the main antagonist of the Academy Saga. She is the famine devil which embodies the fear of famine and starvation and is a member of the 4 horsemen. Let's see her personalities right here. So according to Chainsaw Man Wiki, let's see. Fami possesses all the standard devil abilities. Okay. While her powers and their extent are still unclear, she seems to be able to influence the power of devils in some way. Rather than being directly involved in conflicts, she prefers to utilize the powers of other devils who are either cooperating with her voluntarily or under her direct control. She was able to separate Yoru from Asa temporarily, but Asa left her power to turn people and objects into weapons and communicated with her at a distance, despite Asa being trapped in another devil's pocket dimension. But here we go. This is probably the main meat and potatoes, right? Enslavement. As Fami embodies the fear of famine or starvation, her ability reflects this nature. She is able to turn hungry into her pawns to do her bidding. And this ability is shown to work even on a primal fear, like we saw with Chef Mami, right? Fami can turn those whom she put under her control into miniature effigies to themselves to transport more easily. However, Fami says that the devils who are under her control cannot use their full strength and that there are summoning restrictions. So, very cool. Oh, another devil she has managed to turn into a pawn is the fire devil, who gets stronger with the more contracts it does. Oh, very cool. Tiberius with the $4.99 donation. Thank you so much. Tiberius says, Denji is going to have a skewed ending. Asa may die or he chooses to go to hell and be there with Asa. Agni kind of vibes. Yeah, the ending of Fire Punch was definitely mixed. I know some people loved it. Some people hated it. I was kind of... I'm really in that in-between. I'm like, this is how it ends. I mean, I kind of see what Fujimoto's doing. That's the thing, man. I feel like I got to reread Fire Punch, but I remember even all the big plot points of Fire Punch. I was still looking at that like, yeah, this is like Fujimoto's like earlier works, right? I'm glad that Fire Punch was made so Chainsaw Man can like thrive, right? And for people who prefer one over the other, that's just my opinion, right? You can totally love Fire Punch and think he's better than Chainsaw Man. I personally just like Chainsaw Man, but yeah, you can just tell where he was going with Chainsaw Man, with Fire Punch, and how Chainsaw Man turned out to be. It's like, oh yeah, there's definitely Fire Punch things here, but it seems like he handled the story of Chainsaw Man, personally, a little bit better than what we got with Fire Punch, right? Let me see. Sorry, I keep on posting this weird thing for you guys to see. I'll just post the playmat. Can't wait for the Goat Family to get some screen time. I know. Please, just show me some more Family. That's what I want. Okay, Tiberius says, it's a little odd that all the horsemen can all control people to a certain extent. Yeah. Love Chainsaw Man because of this guy's vibes. Appreciate it. And again, I told you guys before, because I have my merch store set up here, if you guys want the Chainsaw Man playmat or the Don Don playmat, which is right here, you can use discount code FUMIKO for 48% off. So don't ask why Fumiko. I don't know. I think that's just a funny discount code considering how much I don't care for Fumiko. Yeah. So let me see. But I think in regards to the chapter, that was all the main talking points I want to say, right? Like, I think we can all agree now at the end of this chapter that, you know, Yoru's truly a devil. She has these devil tendencies. Like, we always kind of knew this, but for her to reveal to Denji outright, like, hey, yeah, I like you, but it's only because I'm sharing a brain with Asa. If I wasn't sharing a brain with her, you know, you probably already would have been, you know, a weapon, right? That I wanted to acquire a long time ago, because we've seen Yoru want Denji to become her weapon basically this entire part of part 2. So let's see if there's any interesting comments from my latest video I put up. Let me see. Check. Let me see. We go to newest. Okay, yeah, we still got Will saying the last thing. I can never bring myself to fully eat Makima. My 4.1. Glad to see you finally take. Yeah, okay. I think devils don't have feelings at all, but assume feelings of her host. Fujimoto's not cooking. I hope Yoru Diddy gets cooked at this arc. Damn, dude. Yoru, I can't keep defending you like this. Of all the things, that devil might as well ask this man unalive himself right then and there. Jeez. Oh boy. What are we talking about anymore? Will he get let to hell? Let me see. At this point, I think Fujimoto is writing for one person and one person only. That guy is Abusive, man. And hiatus is good. Is a good idea for Fujimoto. I've reread part 2. It falls off a cliff after the Falling Devil arc. That's a comment I see a lot, and you know, one that, guys, I do tend to agree with. You know, I'm not gonna say it completely fell off a cliff, but oh boy, man, I'm right there with you. You know, even when we went through the aquarium stuff, and a lot of people were like, this aquarium stuff is kind of like cute, but whatever. When are we going to get to like the fake Chainsaw Man and what Fami's doing? And, you know, the Falling Devil arc was so good. And even the beginning of the Chainsaw Man Church arc was good, because now we got the introduction of all the weapons to where that arc ended up going, to rescuing Denji in the prison, to, you know, everything, the last 30, 40 chapters. Yeah, it's a bit weird, right? Like, there's been some high highs post Falling Devil arc, but the narrative seems to be kind of just like this, right? Like, I think even when we get to the end point of Chainsaw Man, right? It's like, okay, Chainsaw Man Part 1, pretty smooth the entire time. Chainsaw Man Part 2 is like smooth, and then we're doing one of these, and we're still going to get to the same destination, but you can't help but wonder when this thing is all said and done, if one, we're going to get us set up for Part 3, or two, even if it ends, the community is already split. And we said this many, many times before. I think I'm going to say this many, many times before we truly get the end of Chainsaw Man Part 2. The community is split. It sucks because all of Part 1 has been so beloved. And, you know, I think to the people who animate Chainsaw Man Part 2, whenever we get to it, right? A lot of people are definitely going to dig Part 1 or the first half of Chainsaw Man Part 2. And then when we get to where we are currently, in the manga, it's like, oh, it's gonna feel a little bit rough. But I will say maybe it's not gonna be a big deal because the anime is just gonna like just breeze through these chapters that seem to be a chore for us when we were reading them in the week to week, right? And I feel like this doesn't need repeating, but you know, we always like to remind ourselves too, because I'm going to do this as well. When Chainsaw Man Part 2 is over, let's reread the entire story and see where it falls, right? And although I still think my answer will be Part 1 is better than Part 2, just in my opinion, right? Part 2 is going to feel much more smoother, right? It's just going to be a much smoother ride because now we don't have to wait 2 weeks to have 14 pages. We just get to read it all at once, you know? Let's go ahead and end this community poll here. What did I say, or what did you guys say? Will Dennis defeat Death solo? 68% says not a chance. 31% says yes. Joseph Florian with another $10 donation. Thank you so much. You think Asa awake what the War Devil did? Wait, you think was Asa? Do you think Asa was awake with what the War Devil did? Are you talking about in regards to the Shinji hands, or what are you talking about? Do you think was Asa awake with what the War Devil did? I need some more context. Are we just talking specifically with the Shinji hands moment, or are we talking about like everything that's happening now, right? Like, I don't think Asa's asleep. I think Asa maybe is ashamed, a little embarrassed of like what's currently happening, right? And she doesn't want to like come out. Because I did say that in the review, right? That, you know, we've seen Asa and Yoru like split back and forth very effortlessly, right? Kind of, and that's why I said the Bruce Banner and Hulk thing, right? Like there's a point where Bruce Banner can control the Hulk, and it's like, Hulk, come out. Hulk, I need you to come back in so I can take your place, right? Like we've seen Asa do this over the course of the part, right? Over the course of Chainsaw Man Part 2. So why isn't she awake or coming out now? Beats me, right? Maybe Fujimoto just really wants to drive this point with Yoru and her perspective. And now, hopefully, you know, we'll get this POV of Asa, or what Asa has been thinking from these last few chapters, right? Neff says Part 2 probably won't get animated. And Neff, I'm going to say that's totally cap. Of course it's going to get animated, because why? Because studios love to make money. And with the success of Chainsaw Man Part 1, you better believe, even if a lot of people don't know what Chainsaw Man Part 2 or what they're going to get themselves into with Chainsaw Man Part 2, people don't know that. They're going to say, oh my God, I love Part 1. I love Part 1. Let me see Part 2, right? So, of course it's going to be turned into an anime. Part 1 Season 1 content was more invested in the cast than I am in the cast of Part 2 current date. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I agree. DJ Miles, 1 or 2 weeks for the next chapter. Luckily, the bipolar devil. Wow. Don't know where that came from. The bi-weekly? Yeah. Wow. The bi-weekly devil hasn't struck, so we will get a chapter next week. David says, I think we forgot how evil Yoru is due to how funny she's been. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think this chapter is totally cementing for us, or Fujimoto wants us to remember, hey, Yoru's the devil at the end of the day. She's a piece of shit. And, you know, similar to Makima, you should be scared, kind of like how Denji is in this panel. You know, this is to remind you that, hey, Asa is the devil at the end of the day, right? Aging Devil could have been peak of Part 2 had it not ended so abruptly. Yeah, and then, you know, I don't want to get into that tangent of the Fumiko thing, but yeah, it's kind of weird how it ended like that, right? Does Denji have Devil Riz? You know, I'll have to wait and see. This is just a crazy reading today. Imagine if Asa wasn't aware of Shinji hands and she scratches her eye as soon as she takes back over. Oof. So it's going to be fun seeing Anime's only reaction to part 2 throughout, for sure. Ooh, thanks for bringing that up. So I haven't officially announced it yet. I think I have on my Discord server that, you know, I am starting an Anime's reaction channel. And one of the things I'm going to offer, and you won't see it in the video, of course, but when I set up my Patreon, I think for the lowest tier, which is probably going to be around like $3. Where the hell is it? I will be doing anime manga read-throughs. So if you guys want to react with me for the first time, I think for my Patreon, I'm going to have Shoujo X. We're going to be reading Shoujo X together, or I will be reading Shoujo X. Feel free to, you know, grab the manga and get my reactions to that. I heard this is very good. I don't know what the hell it involves or entails. So we will be doing that, and you know, I will be reacting to ReZero this season along with Invincible. For those of you who watch animation, right? Other stuff beyond anime, right? Dude, I'm loving what Invincible is doing right now. So stay tuned for that. And let's see. And yeah, I think that's it. So thank you guys for supporting the Kagurabachi video, right? That came out last week. I know I had to like upload it 3 times. That's a bit annoying, but I'm really happy with the video's performance right now, and I think it's just going to do well over time, right? So if you guys haven't watched the Kagurabachi video, right, this is a 97-minute video. I think this is the longest video on my channel to date, so feel free to watch the Kagurabachi video. Dandadan, we are going to finish Dandadan sometime in March. Right now, my editor is working for some other people, so he will get back with me for Arc 8 and Arc 9 respectively of Dandadan, and then, you know, expect like a big 4-hour video of Dandadan sometime in like April. So yeah, I think that is it for news. You guys know where to get the Chainsaw Man mats. We will be back next week, and yeah, I think that's it. So all right, guys, take care, have a good night.